Welcome to 10-Minute Topics, where we dive deep into fascinating ideas, stories, and educational topics, all in just 10 minutes. Whether you're here to learn, be inspired, or simply pass the time, we're thrilled to have you with us. If you're new here, welcome to the community. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Now, sit back, relax, and let's jump into today's topic. Today is December 12th, 2024, and this is episode 5. We are talking about the origins of the American cowboy on this episode. One of my favorite subjects, so let's go. The image of the cowboy, riding across open plains under endless skies, has become one of the most iconic symbols of the American West. But how did this legendary figure come to be? And how did the cowboy genre emerge as such a defining cultural phenomenon? Let's explore the origins of the cowboy, their role in American history, and how they galloped into the realms of fiction, music, and film to become larger-than-life characters. The roots of the American cowboy can be traced back to the Spanish settlers of the 16th century. When Spain colonized the Americas, they brought with them their cattle ranching traditions. Spanish vaqueros, the original cowboys, were skilled horsemen who managed large herds of cattle across vast landscapes. They introduced essential techniques such as roping, branding, and herding, as well as the use of distinctive equipment like saddles, spurs, and lassos. As Spanish influence spread into what is now the southwestern United States, these practices blended with the local environment. When Anglo settlers began migrating westward in the 19th century, they adopted and adapted many of these traditions. By the mid-1800s, the vaquero culture had evolved into what we recognize today as the American cowboy. The golden age of the cowboy lasted from the 1860s to the 1890s. During this time, vast herds of cattle were driven from Texas to railheads in Kansas and beyond, where they could be shipped to markets in the east. These cattle drives required skilled cowboys to manage the herds, often over hundreds of miles of rugged terrain. Cowboys worked long hours in harsh conditions, battling extreme weather, stampedes, and the ever-present threat of rustlers. Life as a cowboy was tough and often solitary. The work demanded endurance, courage, and expertise in handling both horses and cattle. Cowboys needed special abilities, including the skill to read the weather and terrain, the physical strength to rope and restrain cattle, and an almost instinctual understanding of animal behavior. Their horsemanship was second to none, as they relied on their mounts not only for work but often for survival. When it came to food, cowboys had to make do with what was portable and non-perishable. Chuck wagons, mobile kitchens on wheels, provided meals during cattle drives. Staples included beans, biscuits, salted meats, dried fruit, and coffee. A popular treat was son-of-a-gun stew, made from whatever fresh ingredients could be found, often including cuts of beef from the herd. As the era of the open range came to an end in the late 19th century, the reality of cowboy life began to transform into myth. Barbed wire fencing, the expansion of railroads, and the settlement of the West diminished the need for long cattle drives. Yet, the image of the cowboy as a rugged, independent hero began to capture the public's imagination. Early dime novels, published in the late 1800s, romanticized the cowboy's life. These sensational stories portrayed cowboys as noble gunfighters, defenders of justice, and solitary wanderers. Buffalo Bill Cody's Wild West shows further popularized these images, bringing dramatized versions of cowboy life to audiences across the United States and Europe. The 20th century saw the cowboy genre flourish in new forms of entertainment. Country and Western music, with its roots in folk traditions, celebrated the cowboy's lifestyle, struggles, and connection to the land. Songs like Home on the Range and Cool Water became classics, evoking the spirit of the West. Hollywood also embraced the cowboy, turning them into global icons. Western films, beginning with silent pictures in the early 1900s, exploded in popularity during the 1930s and 1940s. Stars like John Wayne, Roy Rogers, and Clint Eastwood became synonymous with the genre. These films often depicted cowboys as virtuous heroes battling villains, taming the wilderness, and upholding justice in a lawless land. Television further cemented the cowboy's place in popular culture with shows like Bonanza, Gunsmoke, and Rawhide. These programs brought the Wild West into living rooms, creating enduring characters and stories that appeal to audiences of all ages. Today, the cowboy remains a powerful symbol of resilience, freedom, and adventure. Rodeos, cowboy poetry gatherings, and Western-themed festivals keep the traditions alive. The cowboy also continues to influence fashion, from boots and hats to denim jeans and leather belts. But it's important to remember that the cowboy genre, while captivating, often glosses over the complexities of history. The contributions of diverse groups, the harsh realities of life on the trail, and the displacement of indigenous peoples are aspects that deserve acknowledgement. The cowboy's story is ultimately one of adaptation and reinvention. From the Spanish vaqueros to the silver screen stars, the cowboy has evolved into a symbol that transcends borders and generations. As long as tales of courage and the open frontier resonate with us, the cowboy will remain an enduring figure in our collective imagination. So, the next time you see a cowboy hat or hear the twang of a Western tune, remember the rich tapestry of history and culture that brought this genre to life. The cowboy may have started as a hard-working ranch hand, but their spirit lives on as an icon of adventure and the American spirit. Thank you for joining for this episode of 10-Minute Topics. I hope you have been inspired to think. Lack of education is the bane of any country. You can see the results of that around the world. Please share this channel with friends and family. No matter which side you are on, intelligent discourse is always the answer. Peace to you, my friends.